parenting. And this is something that every parent needs. If you are a parent, even if you are a professional, every parent needs to know how to do joyous parenting. And for that, we have an amazing guest today. His Parveen Pruthi. Parveen, hi. Parveen is a famous parenting coach from India. I'm privileged to have him here. So, hey Parveen,
Hi.
tell me,
Hi,
let's start with some Shero Saidi from you.
Okay. The parenting itself, is such a joyous topic. Anytime you start about it, and all kind of emotions will start flowing. Uh, okay, if you want some thing like that, uh, I would say I'll dedicate it to my daughter because of whom I am a parent.
Yes,
Yeah.
certainly.
I'll put it in Hindi. Uh,
Yes.
और राजकुमारी तुझको पाया तो जमाना मिल गया
Uh-huh.
जीने का फिर से एक बहाना मिल गया लोगों को मिलती है गिन गिन के खुशियां मुझे तो तू मिली तो खजाना मिल गया
वाह 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 क्या बात है क्या बात है I know you are yourself a parent and a very successful parent. Your daughter is in Institute of Technology, so I know you must be knowing a few things about parenting. So let me start. Let's know what is your views about parenting. Let's start with that.
Views, I mean, this is something which is probably the most wonderful feeling on this earth. And we kind of sometimes say, particularly in this part of the world, that our life gets complete when we become parent. Yeah, it's such a joyous experience. And it's something which completes your personality. It gives you a chance to restart with the energy, with the enthusiasm, and to see what God is now in store for the world. So you get a new child and you get a new piece of God's mind. That's how I
Yeah.
look at parenting.
I see, like, but parenting has always been there, right? Why do you need to be serious about it now?
I won't say, first of all, I won't say serious because that will again will be an antonym of joyous parenting. I won't say we need to be serious. I would say we need to be conscious. Now, if we say it has always been there and why there is no now need to be conscious, I'll give you another example. Can you think of something that we have been doing before being a parent also? I mean, since the life came on earth?
Uh, I don't think so because, like, every species has always been a parent, right? So it will come
Right.
naturally to us, right?
True. But there is one thing which we start doing from the first moment on this earth, and that is breathing, right?
Yes.
So all these years, all these millions of centuries, we have been breathing. Now someday some yoga guru comes and tell us about some pranayam and some things
Yes.
like that and say, hey, you are not doing proper breathing.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
suddenly realize, oh my God, we have been breathing so long. Is there something wrong with this also? So similar
Right.
is the case with parenting.
Yes.
Parenting has been all the time in the on this earth, and people have been doing a great job in parenting. But somewhere, when somebody makes you a little conscious about the things, you suddenly realize, oh, I mean, we are doing something wrong in parenting too. So
Right. Right.
it is more a question of making people conscious of that this is also an area which needs attention.
No, I certainly agree with you. But see, when you have a child and you love him so much, your child always wants something, and
Right.
his demand list keeps on growing. So, what do we need to do about that?
Uh, You mean when he starts demanding and demands just go on increasing, there is a stress, is it?
Yes, there is stress.
Okay. But is there a stress with happiness? Too much of it? No, there's
I
no.
I think there is, like, when you start giving initially, you may be very happy to give it to him, but once the demand starts growing and growing and growing, uh, probably then you become a little sad and little serious.
True, true. Now, what happens actually is that
Uh-huh.
we are trying to fulfill the requirement of attention, of love through materialistic, things.
Right.
So as long as we can afford it, we are very comfortable with it.
Right.
But naturally, they will sometimes go out of our range.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I say who started this all, is the parent.
Yes.
You could not give time, so you gave him a toy.
Right.
Again, you could not give him time, so you gave him a video game. So again,
Right.
you could not give him time, you gave him bike. But now
Yeah.
he wants car and he wants helicopter and he wants everything. Now you say, oh my God, he doesn't need my love. But
Right.
only a parent started this. So what
Yeah,
I'll say is that what is needed is, we generally say in the arena of parenting, that we should be investing in the child, not on the child.
Okay.
So as we keep on giving him things as a replacement of the actual things that we are supposed to do, sometimes the situation is going to be like that. So
I think this is a very important thing you brought, that we should be investing in the child. So tell me, how can you invest in the child?
I say, just look at it. For example, particularly the people who are very well off, they are very happy with giving some materialistic things. I mean, I am aware of the parents who would send their children to a foreign trip on a summer vacation. However, will not spend half a day with them listening to them.
Right.
Right. So the materialistic things are true, but probably what a child needs is something else. I'll give an example. If you have an aquarium, have you ever had an experience with aquarium?
Yeah, I did, and I did take my child to the aquarium when he was small. So
So I'm saying the fish would need water.
right.
Just because you can afford, you cannot give it you orange juice. Yeah. So I am taking care of my fish. I am giving it orange juice one day, apple juice one day, or pineapple juice one day. That's not what will make the child happy. The child needs what? The fish needs water.
Right.
Similarly, the child needs the attention. Child needs love. Child needs validation.
Right.
So probably these things have a little overtaken the basic requirements of child, where we need to probably come back to feel that joy again.
Yeah. Manish Sharma says that example for breathing was really great. Thank you, Manish. Thank you for watching this. But like again and again, what is joyous parenting? How do you define joy that you can bring into parenting?
I'll say I had to, for the convenience of understanding only, I had to use this word as joyous parenting. Otherwise, parenting itself means joyous.
Right.
There is no other parenting which is not joyous. The only thing is that we need to understand. Sometimes we take things as little granted.
Okay.
I mean, when the child is not there in our life, we are all wishing for it, and we want the child there. And once is there, then we start kind of taking it granted, and things, kind of falling in place, on their own. We become a little less conscious about it. That something needs to be done about it. I mean, for example, is there any other thing? I mean. When the child comes from God as a gift, he does not come in user manual, right? So we have to understand that each child is unique. Now, when we say each child is unique, his requirements would be unique, his talents would be unique. And if we understand that and probably move together in that journey of his fulfillment, then the joy come automatically.
Right. But like, take the practical things in life. A child starts watching too much TV. There's like the phone right there, and he starts using a lot of phone. He gets distracted. How can you solve that?
I'll say, see, I'll take an example. For example, there is a child, let us say some 5-6 years of age, and he's standing on a high wall. And he says, I will jump. What would the father say?
Say, don't jump.
Don't jump. He says, oh, no, I'll jump.
Okay.
What would father say?
Yeah. Don't jump again.
Don't jump. If he
Right.
says, no, I'll jump.
Yeah. So probably you will have to discipline him and say, no, don't do
Yes.
it. This is wrong.
Yes. Probably in India, there's a little more direct way of disciplining. You may slap, huh? Because here the parent is very, very clear that doing this will harm him.
Right.
Right. But when we are talking to him about TV or about phones, we ourselves are not very, very clear. You know, we are kind of in two minds. We're listening, oh, child, you don't do it. Yaar, na? Okay, do it for some time. Don't do it this way. Don't do it that way. The main reason of this is one, probably we are not aware how much TV or how much screen is okay for that. So if we look at the scientific study, we know that for a child, let us say below 10 years of age, 2 hours of screen time is more than sufficient. I mean, if it goes anything beyond that, that is going to harm. Now, as a parent, we need to know that harm is there in falling. That the example we are taking, falling from the wall, the harm would be direct and now. But in watching TV, too much of TV or too much of phone will harm him in the long run. But the harm is there. So if we are very, very clear on that, first the parents need to be very, very clear on what they want to convey. And accordingly, they would be able to pass on that, discipline to the child. If we know that it is very, very clear. I'll just take a personal example. When you talk of TV, there is always a fight on TV in all houses. It was there in my house also.
Right.
So when my daughter entered ninth, so after a decision between me and my wife, the cable was cut.
Right.
Physically cut.
Yeah.
Now there would be some tantrums for some days, 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 days. But once we both are clear that it is going to be this way only and it is required for the child's betterment, then there is no wavering in the decision. And for 3, 4 years, we did not have any TV in our home, which may look very impractical to the other people. But then if the medicine needs to be given, it needs to be given.
No, I think I completely agree with you on that. There's another question that is coming here, and it is very trivial, but it seems to be very serious too. Like Chandrasekhar Purohit, he says that I have to spend a lot of energy to wake up my 18-year-old son in the morning. Any solution?
Well, Chandrasekhar, one, I would say that we are a bit delayed in now finding out the solution. Solution should have been found when the child was maybe at the age of 3, at the age of 4. But now, having said that, because why I'm saying at that age, because at that age, if the child does not wake up, the parents become a little restless. He would miss school. He would miss that. I say, let him miss. That is the only way he would come to know that, what is the harm in getting late and what do I lose, what I do I not lose, like that. By the time it comes to this stage of, 18 years, it is kind of, a little resistant in that. However, I would still say the parents need to be a little more confident in dealing with these issues and let him do what he does. What he sees is that the parents are, trying to wake him up and is giving an unnecessary, importance to a bad habit. Let him lose some things. Don't wake him on the party day also. Don't wake him on the school day also. So he misses some things and realizes. I mean, because basically someday we have to work on the pull factor. How long can we, go on doing the push factor? So tell him that from tomorrow we are not going to wake you up. So whatever be the consequences, and be very confident. Heavens are not going to fall if the child does not wake up for 2, 3, 4, 5 days on time. He otherwise also is not. So just try that and give me the feedback.
Okay. Now coming to something more serious. How do you, like Kakkar Sahab asks, how do you develop an interest of child in studies? That is the most important thing, how to develop a career and guide a child to make the right decisions and have them interest in studies.
See, yeah, the topic is quite serious, but I'll just give you a few things. First of all, it is now time that we redefine intelligence. Sometimes we feel that if a child is not taking interest in studies, he's not intelligent. We start comparing, we start saying that, you see, he's getting so much mark, your friend is getting so much marks, what will you do in life, and things like that. So that is something where we need to understand that a child may have a lot of interest in so many other things. If you would have heard about that, Dr. Gardner had given a theory of multiple intelligence, which says there are at least 8 types of intelligences in the child.
Okay.
So it is not only the study which is of prime importance. I won't say it is not of importance, but it is not the prime one thing. Second thing is that if we really are serious about doing something, we have to understand that the child has different learning styles. If I touch upon the topic very briefly, there are 3 learning styles that the children have, that is called visually, kinesthetic, and auditory.
Okay.
Visual means he learns more by seeing things, kinesthetic means he learns more by doing things, and auditory means he learns a lot of things by listening to them. Okay. So we have to see what can make his studies a little more interesting. We have to understand what is his learning style, which if we can do by our own observation, it is wonderful. If we cannot do by our own observation, we can always consult an expert in that what is my child's way of learning. For example, if his way of learning is, let us say, auditory, so can we give him recorded lectures? Okay. Can we use this technology for that benefit? Things. And if he's more of, let us say, kinesthetic, so making notes would be a more more proper way of things for him. So we can encourage him towards that only, instead of saying, what happens sometimes is that parents have their own style. Right. And they feel the child should also have that style. Okay. Which is not going to happen. Right. I mean, because I used to, I am a kinesthetic, so I used to do things and I keep on writing things. I see my child does not write at all. How will he learn? I mean, he has a different style. Don't worry. Yes. As long as he's studying, I think that might be fine. But let me say one thing. Is it unfair to expect from children to do well in their career? No, I won't say it is unfair to expect them to do well in their career. However, it is unfair to expect them to do well in the career of your choice. Right. As a parent, for example, if a parent is an engineer, he feels that only those people who are, engineer would be doing well in life. And this, my son or my daughter doesn't even like to do maths. What do I do like this? So it is unfair to impose that thing on the child. Right. What will happen is, see, sorry. What I'll say, there is a very critical difference between a child and let's say a car. The cars are manufactured. Right. Children are born. Yes. So about a car, you would definitely know that if you put this much of oil and this is the engine and it will run like this. Right. Fortunately, children are not like that. Every child is a unique thing. So his interest has to be ascertained, his interest has to be known, and maybe with the help of a few specialized technologies that we have today, we can easily know what is the child interest in and which area he would be able to excel. The parents, I think, should be focusing that the child is not wasting his energy. I mean, he should not be lazy and lying around. If he is, today we can think of the careers which we could never think of earlier. So no need to worry about that, they will not do well. If we encourage them in their field of interest, they are definitely going to do well. There are so many opportunities today. Yeah, but like there is a after effect of doing well in your chosen career too. And like Ruchi Kapoor right here, she is asking, my daughter is very sensitive and scared if she misses learning something which her teacher had asked her to learn. So any suggestions you can have to correct her anxiety?
Because anxiety is a big thing in your career.
Mhm. See, I'll go again a little retrospective to understand that. See, I'll say to Ruchi, when the child came into your life, she was a blank paper. As she started going to school and started coming back and showing you the notebooks, somewhere you only might have told, I'm just guessing, might have told, oh, this is a mistake. You did not learn this. And now the child suddenly realizes, oh, not learning this is a big mistake. So slowly, the child becomes a little skeptical of all the things, around. I mean, is it, if only, and particularly if she does well, then the mother would give her a hug. Oh, you have done very well. Today your marks are very good. And when the marks are not so good, then the hug would be missing. That is probably the worst thing to do. Because when the marks are not there, the child is anyway expecting that there would be some, advice coming today, some scolding coming today. I'll say surprise the child, with a hug again.
Okay.
So that the child knows that it is okay. It is okay to learn. It is okay to forget. It is okay to relearn. Things like that. So let it not be a single parameter which tells that the child is sincere, that if she is able to learn. Second thing is, the learning has to be a little enthusiastic. The parents also need to be a little enthusiastic about learning. They are so sometimes we look at the notebooks of the children in such a boring way. 80%. Oh, last time it was 85. Oh, don't look at what has the child learned. We don't take him to the park to show that what you learned about plants. Let me show you there.
Right.
So a little effort has to be made to make it interesting per se from the viewpoint of the practical life, not from the books only. So that the child comes back to the books with a lot more enthusiasm and sees, see, this is the parrot I saw in the garden. Things like that.
Yeah, that's a very interesting thing. But again, if we have to get the child to the right path, and we see that children are always very easily distracted, how do we know the amount of discipline that is appropriate?
Amount of discipline.
Uh-huh.
That's a tricky situation. However, I would say, see, again, we have to go a little back into the psychology of parent.
Okay.
One. And please understand, parent is a caretaker, not owner.
Okay. Yeah, that's a very good example.
Yeah, I repeat it. The parent is a caretaker, not the owner.
Okay.
So while disciplining, you should have the that softness of caretaking. Now, where do we draw a line? I'll say because it is responsibility of the caretaker to make an individual from a small baby to grow into a grown-up individual. Tomorrow he or she is going to take a lot of responsibilities. So we need to give a little freedom to the child. So if I say where do we draw a line, I'll say the decisions which impact his or her health or safety, we should be very clear about that, not yielding at all. For example, if a child wants to drive a vehicle before the eligible age or before getting the license, it has to be clear no.
Right.
Now, if the child says something about what he wants to wear and probably what he wants to eat, we can be a little more yielding. So the discipline, which is two-way, we have to see: one, that impacts the health or the safety of the child, and secondly, the impact for the term. So if it is a very long-term impact, then we have to, as a parent, we need to know whether this would have a very long-term impact or very small-term impact. If it is a short-term, the child should have the freedom to choose. And if it is a long term where we are going to, see, for example, I was talking about the, too much of TV, that it is going to have a long term impact, and the child only will come back at the age of 20 and tell you, you should have known, na? Now my eyes are weak, you should have known, I was a child. So where it is long term and where it impacts health or safety, there the line has to be clearly dark.
But I would again say, is it not like expected that if your child is a gifted or talented child, is it not expected that you want him to go into, like your daughter went into IIT, my son went to Caltech? Is it not right to expect them and show them the right path, that if you work a little hard, you can reach those stars? Is it not right?
Kishore, I have a very strong objection to your saying if a child is gifted. Every child is gifted.
Yes, I certainly.
First of all, that is somewhere deep in our mind that if a child is doing very well in studies, I understand my daughter was a national topper in NTSC exams, but that doesn't make any other child even any less.
Right.
So every child is gifted. Now, what we probably need to know is that in which area he has been gifted. Right. Now, for example, if he's very good in music, why should he be forced to become a doctor because there was no doctor in the family, or maybe because all the people in the family are doctors? So my question is that if we identify that a child is gifted in one area, is it not good enough to expect him or her to reach the stars in his area? True. In that case, our role is something like, I would say, parenting is something like a gardening at that time. Okay, that's a good example. This plant can grow, this plant can flourish. Now, what is the role of the parent is not that to stand on the head of the plant and ask it to grow. Right. It would grow. It would grow. Now the role is to provide the proper soil, keep it away from weeds, keep it protected, and provide all the nutrients. It will grow. Right. Probably the parents are, a bit too worried. Sometimes it's so worried that they forget what needs to be done. I'll take another example to clarify it a bit more. If the patient is going to have a serious operation, doctor doesn't need to be serious. Right. If the doctor is also serious, doctor is also tense, then the operation is going to go wrong. Right. So I'll only request all the parents, be a little relaxed. If we randomly try to peep into various houses, what we are more often than not going to encounter is arguments, right? Not laughter. Where is it gone? I mean, laugh anyway. Yes. So that is the thing. So we need to provide that environment and that ambience to the child and just relax. He's going to do his potential. Now what happens is that, for example, you are talking about the career. Now I am aware of the parents who will spend thousands and lakhs of rupees in arranging all the technology, all the books, all the coaching like that. Right. But will not go for half a day to a career counselor. Exactly. I mean, that is what you needed to do at the first place. Please try to know what your child is, having, the best potential to be. So I'll say on that the point of seriousness. See, even if we are having an argument in house, we cook, we have dinner, we have all the things happening. So make laughter as an essential commodity in house. Right. Anyway, so even if there is no reason for that, get the family together and start laughing. This will handle half of the stress. No. I certainly agree with that. And when I was with you at Indian Institute of Forest Management, I still remember I learned laughter from you. So I certainly agree with the importance of laughter and joy in parenting or doing everything in life. And here there's an important question from Brajesh Singh.
And Brajesh Singh asked, can you suggest me some effective technique to befriend my child?
Okay. Again, the effective technique to befriend your child is to befriend.
Yeah.
It is as simple as that. Brajesh, see, let us look at this way. You want to be, befriend your child. Now look at what friends do. When a child has got less marks, the friends celebrate. So you also celebrate when she gets less marks. What do friends do? When there is some bad mood around, or some negative influences around, just they said it's okay. So you do it like that. What do friends do? Friends play together. Do you play together? If I take that opportunity to suggest, there are three things which are probably what we call in India is Ramban, the panacea.
Right. Okay.
For befriending is that one. Eat together. If that would work in 30-40% cases. Half the problem would be solved. Two, if you want to do it even better, then play together.
Okay.
That. And the third is, of course, without any exception, a foolproof method. I am aware of that. If you can do this with your child, you are always going to be a friend, and that is pray together.
Wow, that's a very important thing that you said. Pray together.
If you can eat together, wonderful. If you can play together, extraordinary. If you can pray together, out of the world. This has never failed.
Wow.
So if you start doing these three things, do it for just 1 week, and you will see the miraculous results coming in.
No, I totally agree with you, and all the parents who are listening this, your child situation may be unique. So I would certainly say that, as Parveen said, you spend lakhs of rupees for doing so many things for the child. Spend some time with a counselor like Parveen. I would say you can now book time with Parveen at our website, dayoutwith.com. I would say that is the best investment that you can ever make. And spend some time with a counselor, asking things about a particular situation about your child that can make him another human star. So, Parveen, Brajesh is asking another question that, yes, if you want to befriend your child, can you suggest me some effective techniques, or how much time should I spend with my 9-year-old daughter on a regular basis? Because it's okay to befriend, but it's not okay to be always with him, right?
True. See, how much, I will not give any mathematical formula, how much time would be sufficient would that. However, I'll give a qualitative formula to that if it is that possible. See, give a small test to the child-parent relationship. That will know how much time you are spending with him or her. Who is the first person with whom she wants to share a news?
Okay.
So if you are the person with whom she wants to share a news, good or bad, let us not discriminate between those two types of news. If you are the first person with whom she shares the news, you are spending adequate time. See, because the presence around, a feeling of presence around is much more important than actually spending time. I'll take that example. Sometimes people come to me and say, we spend a lot of time together in the evening. I said, okay, what do you do? She said, even if we talk of yesterday, we saw a movie together on TV. I said, you spent time with TV. So TV is very happy.
Okay.
You did not spend time with your daughter.
Right.
When you are spending time with your daughter, with our daughter or with our son, you're spending time with each other. I mean, if we are spending some time, let us say some 2 hours, I'll say don't watch TV, play Ludo.
Right.
So playing Ludo will have that impact of spending time together, one. Second, the technique number 2 that we earlier discussed, in eat together, play together, that will also be done.
Right.
And 3, it will give a chance to the child to be a little slow, little wait for each other. Do that, wait for the result, be happy, be sad together, things like that. So that will also be a very good learning and will give some kind of balance to his or her personality. So Brajesh, just check out that.
Right.
If it is, if you are the first person she's breaking any news with you, then you are spending adequate time. If it is not, then enhance the time a little more.
No, you certainly put it in the right way. Again, we don't have much time, but I'll squeeze in a couple of more questions. Kakkar Sahab is asking, my first question is, kids these days are very choosy in foods. How to make them eat healthy food?
Okay, this is also a very common problem that I deal with, particularly the children who are, up to the age of, let us say, 10 or 12. They're very fussy about eating. My question to the parents would be, are the parents not a little more fussy about eating than the children themselves?
Yes.
They actually are. Now, see, the child will resist, or for that matter, any human would also resist anything being directed as simple as eating food. Now, if we ask the child, eat this, eat that, this is very healthy, this is very healthy, the child gets bored. Now, but still it has to be done. Then what is the way out? My simple suggestion is, don't ask the child to eat the food.
Okay.
You eat and enjoy it.
Right.
You eat before. If of course there are siblings, then it would be a great idea to offer the food to the one who is enjoying it. More than, or if husband and wife are sitting together and they are enjoying the food, just don't give too much of importance of his not eating. Then he comes into the picture, because then he feels left out. Then he would come into the picture, he or she, he will come into the picture, why I have not been given the food. If you give the food, you ate it, did you eat this, did you eat that? He said, no, I don't want it, because that is a natural resistance. So we have to be a little more intelligent there and build an interest the indirect way.
Right.
So you eat it, you enjoy it, you don't even ask. Then he will start complaining, he or she will start complaining, I was not even asked, yaar, what is this happening in this house? So he will start eating everything. That is, I can give a credential of that, personal experience of having dealt this with my daughter also.
Okay.
So that is going to work.
Yeah, and it's the same. Like my son was very choosy in eating, but we left him what he loved best to do that. And we even asked his doctor, and he said, just leave him eat whatever he wants. Like he really loves like chicken and rice. Chicken is protein. Rice is carbohydrate. So where is the problem?
Yeah, that is what is happening. If we start saying this is good, this is good, this is good, this is good, he'll say, no, this is what I'm not going to eat.
Right.
So that we are, unnecessarily creating a situation which is not there.
Brajesh is now asking a very serious question. I don't know if we have an answer to that, but he's asking, how can I help my child in case she's bullied by her friends at school?
Right. That's a really serious question, and probably I would request Brajesh, or I'll connect him one-to-one, because this will deal with the personality of the child, which should not be probably done in a public forum.
Right, certainly.
So I'll connect with him individually.
Yeah, certainly. And again, like you can now book time with Parveen at dayoutwith.com. Just go there, and if you have a unique situation and unique parenting question, you can always ask him, and he will be very happy to help on those questions. So again, dayoutwith.com is an excellent forum where you can connect with human stars like Parveen and ask one-to-one questions on something like this. Praveen, we don't have much time now, but to conclude, I'll ask one more question to you. Is there like a 1, 2, 3 of parenting, joyous parenting?
Yeah, definitely. See, if I say one or two things I have already shared, that if you eat together, if you play together, pray together, there would be definitely the more bonding.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is that we need to understand some, I would say, I will not say laws of parenting, but I can probably say rules of parenting. One, each child is unique.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to understand that we cannot compare one child to the other by any way, bad or good or anything. He is unique means he is unique, right? And secondly, the parents are caretaker, so they have to be a little more, you can say, less tense while dealing with the child. You call it God or you call it nature, or he is the owner, so he has sent it, he will take care. The role of the parent is to provide that gardening environment that we were talking. So
Right.
that would suffice. And third, every child is intelligent. So never let us say my child is not intelligent. Is that, because we talked about 8 type of intelligence that a child has. So if we follow just these 1, 2, 3 things and just laugh unnecessarily. There is no need to be a little more, so serious in homes that, my child. See, how I started doing all this was I was working in the corporate for so long. And I found that the people were discussing this issue time and time again. My child is not doing this. Yeah, these boards exams are this and like that. So I said, why is this so seriousness about it? There I felt that probably this is an area where the pain is quite widespread in this society. So I thought, okay, whatever little I have learned being a parent myself, and whatever I have learned from the other people and the techniques and the technology, whatever, I'll just go on and share with the people and make a little more joy in the world.
No, I think this is something really, really excellent thing that you have taken up. And I have Amar Chaudhary here, and he's saying, Praveen sir, you are a Sandar person to follow. So I completely agree with that.
I'll also add something here. When you say about joyous parenting, one thing the parent need to understand is that the technology is improving. We are having new models of phones. We are having new models of laptops. So we are having new models of children also.
Okay, that's a good thing.
so but sometimes parents say, we used to do like that.
Right.
Why he is not doing like that? What is this? The model has changed. Okay. In the earlier model, the things were like that. That model were running on some different fuel. This model is running on some different fuel. For example, in our times, if I can say the older times, making ourselves a little old. So at that time, if our parents did not want us to do something, for example, if you would ask permission for a movie, and they don't want you to go there, what would they say?
Yeah, they would just say no.
No, this movie is not good. Yeah, you should, child, you should concentrate on your studies. Right. Again, if you ask for a movie, they'll say no, you will not go. I told you that. Yeah. Third time, if you ask, again that same thing. That slapping will come, which was earlier known as, what I popularly say with my friends also. That was called as the tok rok thok technology. In Hindi we say, you just stop him, you just counsel him, you stop him, otherwise you just slap him. Now the technology has changed.
Exactly.
So that technology will not work, because in our days, that technology was working at school also.
Right.
Today, if you slap your child, you would be in jail.
Right.
So the technology has changed. So parents need to know that the technology has changed, and we need to adopt a little newer ways of handling all this. This is a joyous experience, and this has to be a joyous experience also. If you are able to handle it, wonderful. If you are not able to handle it, for example, if you have a mild fever and you feel that you can take a medicine at home, take it. But if you feel that no, this fever is not going, then consult a doctor. So you can consult an expert in your area or me or anyone else, to get that. Now this new technology is there and we are supposed to handle. The engineers are old, the technology is new. So there would be a slight challenge which can be easily handled. So an invitation to all the parents to handle it and make this world a little more joyful.
No, I completely agree with you. All the listeners, if you are listening to us today and you want to meet other human stars every week, you should go to www.facebook.com/dayoutwith, like the page today, and we'll be bringing you more such human stars as Parveen every week. And now, if you want to book time with Parveen, you can certainly go to dayoutwith.com and start booking time with him and start asking him more about what he can do individually about your son and daughter. And that's one important investment that you will ever make. Thank you. Thank you so much, Parveen, for coming here and like sharing with us some nuggets of truth. Thank you.
Thank you, Kishore. Thank you. Thanks a lot.